Radical empathy is essentially convincing your inner child that it's not a child anymore. We carry inner children essentially within us because they get traumatized by life. So it's important to remember that trauma isn't necessarily what happens to you, it's how your body responds, how it reacts to what happens to you. That means what might be traumatic to you might not be traumatic to me, and vice versa. In most of my work as a therapist, some people who were not severely beaten, grew up in war-torn countries, they feel bad about their pain and suffering because it's not as bad as somebody else's. And so they invalidate themselves. But the thing is that your nervous system, your brain, it doesn't care. It doesn't really have the ability to appreciate what somebody else has been through. It only knows its own lived experience. So you need to remember that any trauma, big or small, it's valid. Trauma is when your system held on to the pain or it numbed you out entirely from it so you didn't have to feel it. And it did those things instead of just letting it go, instead of just letting the pain work through you. The system clenched and held on to it and stored it away. Now, if there is an inner wounded child or children within you, they essentially don't speak English. They don't have access to your words per se to get your attention that they're hurt, they're stuck, and alone. But they do essentially have access to your nervous system, the same system that was flared up when all these traumatic events and things happened. Again, along the lines of it's hysterical, it's historical, that means whenever life is bringing up these raw, difficult emotions you'd rather not feel, you can think of it this way. It's your inner child's way of getting your attention so that it can be brought back home. So your inner child will use your nervous system and your emotions to get your attention. And that's what radical empathy is, responding to that call.